Let's get one thing straight. Everything you've been told about training after 40 is probably wrong. You don't need 3-hour gym sessions, dozens of different exercises, or some complicated split routine that requires a PhD to understand. Here's the controversial truth nobody wants to admit. Less is more, especially when you're over 40 and your recovery isn't what it used to be. The real secret? 6 exercises. That's it. 6 fundamental movements that'll build more muscle, strength, and functional power than any bloated workout program ever could. Now, I know what you're thinking. Only 6 exercises? That can't possibly be enough. But here's what's actually happening. Your body doesn't care how many exercises you do. It cares about whether you're forcing it to adapt and whether you're hitting the major movement patterns consistently. Most men over 40 are overtrained and under-recovered, doing way too much work that doesn't move the needle. Meanwhile, the guys who are actually getting results, they've figured out that focusing on these 6 key movements triggers the hormonal response and full body strength development that makes your body have no choice but to grow. Stick around, because what you're about to learn will completely change how you approach training for the rest of your life. The pull-up stands as one of the most honest measures of upper body strength you'll ever encounter. There's nowhere to hide, no machines to assist. It's just you, a bar, and gravity working against every fiber in your body. What makes this movement so powerful is how it recruits your lats, biceps, shoulders, rear delts, and core simultaneously, forcing them to coordinate in a way that builds raw, functional strength. And here's the kicker. For men over 40, this type of compound movement triggers a hormonal response that helps maintain muscle mass and keeps your metabolism from slowing down like it does for most guys hitting middle age. When your back and shoulders are strong, you're not just looking better. You're preventing the rounded shoulder, weak-postured look that makes men appear older than they are. It's the difference between walking into a room with confidence versus shuffling in like someone who's given up on their physical presence. If you can't do a full pull-up yet, don't sweat it. Most guys can't, and there's a smart way to build up to it. Start with resistance bands looped around the bar to give you some assistance, or use an assisted pull-up machine at the gym if you've got access to one. Another killer method is doing negatives. Jump up to the top position and slowly lower yourself down over 3 to 5 seconds, controlling every inch of the descent. Aim for 3 sets of whatever variation you're working with, even if that's just 3 to 5 reps per set. Each week, try reducing the band assistance or adding 1 more rep. The traditional pull-up itself is already challenging enough. There's no need to chase fancy variations when mastering the basic movement will transform your physique and strength. The push-up is arguably the most accessible yet brutally effective upper body exercise you'll ever do. It's been around forever because it works plain and simple. This movement hammers your chest, shoulders, and triceps while forcing your core to stay tight and engaged throughout every single rep. For men over 40, the push-up becomes even more valuable because it's a closed-chain exercise, meaning your hands stay fixed while your body moves, which is far easier on your joints than heavy pressing with weights. Plus, it builds that functional strength that keeps your upper body resilient and powerful without needing a gym membership or fancy equipment. Now, here's where this shows up in your everyday life. Every time you're pushing yourself up off the ground, pressing a heavy door open, moving furniture across a room, or even just playing with your kids or grandkids, you're using that exact pressing pattern. Strong pushing muscles protect your shoulders from injury and keep your posture upright and confident. Think about the difference between a guy who can drop down and bang out 20 solid push-ups versus someone who struggles to get off the floor. It's not just about strength, it's about maintaining independence and vitality as you age. If regular push-ups feel too challenging right now, start with elevated push-ups using a bench, table, or even a wall. The higher the surface, the easier the movement. Aim for 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps at whatever angle works for you, focusing on keeping your body in a straight line from head to heels. Each week, try lowering the surface height or adding a couple more reps. Once you're comfortable on the floor, you can make them harder by slowing down the tempo or adding a brief pause at the bottom. Negative push-ups, where you slowly lower yourself over 3 to 5 seconds, are also phenomenal for building strength if you're still working toward your first full rep. The goal isn't to rush through progressions, it's about building a foundation that'll serve you for decades. The squat is hands down the king of lower body exercises, and there's a reason it's been a staple in training programs for generations. This movement targets your quads, glutes, hamstrings, and core all at once, building leg strength that forms the foundation for literally everything you do. For men over 40, maintaining lower body strength isn't optional, it's essential. Your legs contain the largest muscle groups in your body, and when you work them hard, you're triggering a massive metabolic and hormonal response that helps preserve muscle mass, bone density, and testosterone levels that naturally start declining after 30. Think about how often you're squatting in daily life without even realizing it. Every time you're sitting down in a chair and standing back up, picking something off the ground, getting in and out of your car, or climbing stairs, you're performing a squat pattern. Guys who lose their squatting strength end up struggling with basic movements that should be effortless, and that's when you start seeing that slow shuffle and reliance on momentum just to stand up. Strong legs aren't just about looking good in shorts, they're about maintaining your independence and quality of life well into old age. Start with bodyweight squats if you're new to the movement, focusing on 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps with proper form. If bodyweight feels too easy, you can hold a dumbbell or kettlebell at your chest, goblet squat style, to add resistance. If regular squats are too challenging, try box squats where you sit back onto a bench or chair and stand back up. This teaches the movement pattern and builds confidence. You can also use a door frame or TRX straps to assist yourself as you learn the motion. Each week, work on going a bit deeper, adding more reps, or increasing the weight slightly. The squat is one of those movements where consistent practice pays off dramatically, and your body will thank you for the investment. The single-leg Romanian deadlift is one of those exercises that looks deceptively simple but delivers incredible results. This movement primarily targets your hamstrings, glutes, and lower back, while simultaneously challenging your balance and coordination. What makes it especially valuable for men over 40 is how it addresses stability and unilateral strength, meaning each leg has to work independently without the stronger side compensating for the weaker one. This creates a more balanced, injury-resistant body and improves the kind of functional strength that actually matters in real life. Here's where this translates into your daily movements. Every time you're bending down to pick something up, stepping over an obstacle, or even just walking on uneven terrain, you're relying on that single leg stability and posterior chain strength. Most guys don't realize how imbalanced they are until they try standing on one leg. Suddenly that coordination and stability they thought they had just isn't there. Building strength through single-leg RDLs means you're less likely to tweak your back. Picking up groceries, you'll have better balance to prevent falls, and you'll move with more confidence and control in everything you do. Start with body weight only, holding onto a door frame with one hand for balance if needed. Aim for 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps per leg, focusing on the hip hinge movement, pushing your hips back while keeping your standing leg slightly bent. Once you're comfortable with body weight, add a light dumbbell or kettlebell in the opposite hand of your standing leg. The key isn't loading up heavy weight quickly, it's about perfecting that balance and feeling your hamstrings and glutes doing the work. Each week, try reducing your reliance on support or adding a bit more weight. This exercise builds the kind of bulletproof strength that keeps you moving well for decades. The single-leg calf raise might seem like a small, insignificant movement, but don't let that fool you. Your calves are the unsung heroes of lower body function. These muscles are responsible for propelling you forward with every step you take, stabilizing your ankles, and supporting your knees and hips up the chain. For men over 40, calf strength becomes crucial because weak calves lead to ankle instability, knee problems, and that shuffling gait that makes you look and feel older. Training them unilaterally ensures that both legs develop equally and that you're building the kind of resilient, explosive strength that keeps you moving powerfully. This strength shows up everywhere in your daily life. Every time you're walking upstairs, pushing off to sprint after something, standing on your toes to reach a high shelf, or even just maintaining balance on uneven ground, your calves are working overtime. Guys with weak calves tend to have poor ankle mobility and stability, which cascades into compensations throughout the entire body. Strong calves mean better athletic performance, reduced injury risk, and the ability to move with spring and energy rather than plodding along like your joints are rusty. Start by standing on one leg on a flat surface, or better yet, on the edge of a step with your heel hanging off for a greater range of motion. Hold onto a wall or railing for balance, and aim for 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps per leg. Push up onto the ball of your foot as high as you can, pause briefly at the top, then lower slowly back down. If the single leg version is too challenging initially, you can start with both legs together until you build enough strength. Once you're knocking out 15 to 20 reps easily, add weight by holding a dumbbell in one hand or wearing a weighted backpack. The progression here is all about control and range of motion. Getting that full stretch at the bottom and full contraction at the top is what builds real calf strength and size. The up-down plank is a dynamic core exercise that takes the traditional plank to another level by adding movement and coordination. Instead of just holding a static position, you're transitioning between a forearm plank and a high plank, which forces your core, shoulders, chest, and triceps to work together under constant tension. For men over 40, this kind of dynamic core stability is gold because it trains your midsection to stay strong and controlled during movement, not just when you're frozen in place. A strong, stable core protects your lower back, improves your posture, and gives you the foundation to lift heavier and move better in every other exercise. Think about how often your core needs to stabilize you during real-world activities. Whether you're twisting to grab something from the back seat of your car, carrying groceries up the stairs, or maintaining balance on a ladder while fixing something around the house, your core is constantly working to keep you safe and stable. Guys with weak cores end up with chronic lower back pain, poor posture that makes them look defeated, and a body that just doesn't move efficiently. Training your core dynamically, with movements like the up-down plank, means you're building functional strength that actually translates into everyday resilience and power. Start in a forearm plank position with your body in a straight line from head to heels. Push up onto one hand, then the other, moving into a high plank position, then lower back down one arm at a time to your forearms. That's 1 rep. Aim for 3 sets of 6 to 10 reps, alternating which arm leads each rep. If this feels too challenging, you can start by doing the movement from your knees until you build enough strength. You can also slow down the tempo to make it easier or hold each position briefly to reduce the difficulty. The key is maintaining a tight core throughout. Don't let your hips sag or pike up. Each week, try adding a couple more reps or moving with more control. This exercise builds the kind of core strength that keeps your entire body functioning optimally and pain-free. So here's the real question: are you actually going to apply this, or are you going to keep doing what hasn't been working? These 6 exercises aren't some theoretical concept. They're the practical blueprint that'll transform your body if you commit to them. What's stopping you from starting today? Is it doubt? Or is it just easier to keep making excuses? Look, you've got the knowledge now. The only thing left is action. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect program, or the perfect motivation. None of that's coming. Start with what you've learned here. Be consistent and watch your body respond in ways you didn't think were possible anymore. If you're ready to keep learning and finally build the strong, capable body you deserve, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. There's a lot more coming that'll help you stay ahead of the game and keep getting results well into your 40 seconds, 50 seconds, and beyond. Let's do this.